All right, what's up, everybody? Okay, we're just testing out this software. It's called Yardstream, and it allows us to broadcast on multiple platforms because we have people on LinkedIn, people on Facebook, people on YouTube all asking, can you do lives and answer questions? And I set it up so that you can pick your favorite platform, and then as questions come in, I can answer them. So this is just a test. I hope it entertained your day. Hope you're having an awesome Sunday and that you're crushing it, and that the social distancing isn't doing weird things to your brain, and that you're actually growing and not digressing, but progressing in your life right now. Like, you have the freedom right now to do exactly what you want to do. The day is yours. In fact, in some ways, you probably have more freedom than you realize being on quarantine because there's less distraction. So now you can really focus on you. What the heck? We got like 28 people, and this is like totally a test, you guys. And this was not supposed to be, this is not even supposed to be like a public video, but it went public anyways. What's up, Mohammed? Good to see you guys here. I'm going to do it. Can you guys help me with this really quick? I'm going to do a quick test, okay? Let's do this. So, hello, everyone. I'm using a new software. Can you guys tell me if you can see what I just posted? And does it come up as just one dime? Like, what does it look like? You guys can tell me that. That would be awesome. What's up, Paul? Good to see you, brother. How's it going, Ink Rap? Just rapping over here in ANZ on this. Nice. Very cool. What's up, Shuka? Hello, hello. It's funny. It says Facebook user. I can't tell who said nice to see you, mate. It just says Facebook user, so I'm going to have to call you that. So this is awesome, you guys. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to share something with you guys, all right? Have you guys noticed how this social distancing it's affecting people like crazy? And I think it's affecting them more than they realize. Like, I think there's something that happens in the brain when you are being told you cannot go anywhere but the doctor, the grocery store, and the gas station. And especially for people living by themselves whose love language is touch. It's like taking sunlight from a flower. The time we live in, you guys, is crazy right now. There are 22 million Americans who have lost their jobs. Just to give you a simple example about what's going on. So did you guys hear about the church in Mississippi where police officers were giving people $500 tickets for driving to a church service, a drive-in church service where they're sitting in their car, their windows are rolled up. COVID-19 doesn't have much of a chance to get through that window. They're listening to the sermon on the radio, and police officers are walking up, knocking on the window and saying, here's a citation for $500. Or maybe you guys heard about Jerry Falwell Jr., who invited a bunch of students back onto his campus in spite of government lockdown rules, which sounds very Falwellish. So my point, you guys, is the world we live in right now is absolutely crazy insane. And while this is going on, I'm just curious, how many of you guys are familiar with Earn It? And I'm going to tap it here, okay? Here we go. Yeah, I totally agree, Marcelo. Amazon is dominating the world, and this is why it makes so sense to start selling in Amazon. Our sales have gone up, not down. The majority of people I talk to, my fellow business partners and students, their sales have gone up, not down. So what does that tell you? When the world's in crisis, 22 million people lose their jobs, and you're making more money in Amazon. Like, please explain to me why anyone wouldn't take this opportunity. The audio is a little unclear. Okay, cool. You mind turn off that music for me real quick? Yeah, we will turn off the music so it's a little better, you guys. Okay, cool. But I want to share a few things. So first of all, guys, there are 3 things I was thinking about this morning. And one of the things I do to process is I write. I write all the time, and it allows me to process what's going on in my head and in my brain. There are 3 things I believe we should be focusing on right now in light of COVID-19, okay? Number 1, do not get your validation from others. Get it from your deep heart convictions. What I mean is I find a lot of people are depending a lot more on likes and followers in social media than ever before. You can see it. Like there's this neediness to make sure I get enough likes. We were actually talking about this as a family last night. That doesn't add any long-term lasting value to your life at all. And I think because of this vacuum of physical closeness, because I believe humans were created to be able to give each other a high five or connect physically. So because of this vacuum of physical closeness, people are trying to make up for it by getting affirmation on social media. And I think that's a huge mistake. Because if your sense of significance comes from how many people like your post on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or wherever it is, or Snapchat, which seems like it's going away now, then what happens when someone calls you a turd? Your entire emotional stability is now impacted because your sense of identity and strength was based on people's approval, which means you will really struggle to make decisions that are good for you. You'll struggle to start a business. You'll struggle to make hard decisions in relationships that you need to end, or ones that you need to have the courage to start, or ones that you need to reconcile. because you're so needy for approval. And I think that COVID-19 is affecting the world both positively and negatively. So I think that the answer to this is know your content, be confident in it, and let the convictions of your heart be validating, not the people around you. Because guess what? If you stand for anything, someone will dislike you. If you stand up and believe in something, someone's going to criticize you. Someone's going to cuss you out. And that is totally okay. But if you feel like you always have to approve or get approval from everyone, you're pretty much saying, hey, world, you determine my sense of well-being. And you will lose sleep overnight just based on what people said on social media. So that's the first step I would say we need to take, is we do not need a validation from others. Get it from your conviction. Exactly, Alan. What others think of you is none of your business. You don't need others to validate. Absolutely, 100%. No, Shuja, I'm not in China. I'm actually sitting right here in my house, quarantined in Austin, Texas. But we do want to go to China, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, the whole thing with pseudo martial law, Alan, I think you make a really good point. I think some government, I'm not going to get real political here, but I'm going to say a few things, okay? I think some governments are taking it too far. Like, I totally get the purpose of social distancing is to protect each other, and I agree with that. But if you take it so far as to tell me I can't sit in a car with the window rolled up listening to a sermon on the radio, now that's becoming like really close to taking away my rights, and that's where I start to get angry. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay, number 2, you guys. This is going to sound super altruistic, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Help people. You want to reduce the anxiety of COVID-19? Help people. Because when you add value to others, you add value to your purpose. Every successful business, every vibrant relationship, every successful government is rooted in this principle of adding value to others. In fact, I will go so far as to say, I don't believe anyone on the planet can truly find their sense of purpose and well-being unless it includes helping people expecting nothing in return. And as a result, you will get a lot in return, because the byproduct will be things like healthy relationships, more money, more sense of margin, more sense of freedom, greater peace at night when you sleep, because you know you're doing what you were intended to do. And here's what's so amazing. Every single person in this live right now has something you can add. All of you do. I do. You have something you can add. Someone needs to hear what's on your heart right now. Someone needs to learn one of your skills right now. And you can even monetize that and turn it into a business, and people rightfully pay you for it. And I think it's sad when people look at businesses as completely self-centered. It's both. It's both self-centered and other-centered. Like, you have to be. If you were in an airplane, would you truly put the oxygen mask on someone else before you? That might sound super great, but it's stupid, because how long can you help them when you don't have oxygen? So you do need money. There's nothing wrong with starting a business so you can make money off of people paying you. That's legit. But if you also enjoy it for its own sake, you actually like to help people just as a way of life, even if there's no money transaction involved, now that is power. Every single post I make on social media, before I make one, I do not ever ask, are people gonna like this? How many likes will I get? I never ask myself that question. I only ask this one question, as well as when I do a video on YouTube. I say, how will this help others? Because people don't realize how much they're struggling with social distancing. And one of the best antidotes to that is you add value to people's lives, and it makes a massive difference. We are launching our products with that mindset, going to do it with you guys. Can't wait to finally rejoin the team. That is so true, Ink Rat. That is awesome, and I cannot wait. And you guys, when you have the right mindset, I swear to you, you will enjoy life so much more. Like, I just, right now, COVID-19, like, the world is going nuts right now. Like, it's crazy. And I'm sitting and thinking, I see some people and they're so negative. And I see other people and they're like, I'm going to give masks to every human I can and help them. I mean, the reactions is amazing. And I like to illustrate it to when you have a cup of water and it's full of water and someone bumps you, life bumps you, something happens and it affects you. What happens, you guys, if this is full of water? It spills over. Good water in there, if your heart is full of truth and love, what's going to spill out when there's crisis? Good things. You're going to want to help people. But if it's full of bad water, what happens, guys? Negativity results. Okay, let me give you one more. And this is my favorite. Embrace your struggles. Embrace your struggles. When you encounter struggles, you can run from them, you can ignore them, or you can work through them. Listen, over 22 million Americans have lost their jobs. 3 to 10 times that have a family member or friend who lost that job, because for every one person who lost a job, there's a circle of people around them who are impacted by that. And it really hurts. And what's happening is people are projecting those negative feelings by being keyboard warriors. They go online and they blast people and they criticize, and they spend their whole day being consumed by media or social media instead of actually being a difference and focusing on growing themselves. Don't get sucked into that. Do you know that every single time we run an ad or do a live video on YouTube, someone makes some snarky comment like scam or you're a piece of shit, and do you want to do every time? And I love this. I say, let's go live together right now, you and me. I want you to publicly make those claims. I want you to remove yourself from being the keyboard warrior, become a real warrior, stand in front of 1,000 people and say, hey, you're a scam, and let's debate that respectfully. And every single time they go quiet. Why is that? Let me give you an example. I had this guy questioning the Amazon sales that we have on a Facebook post. And I said, I tell you what, let's do a video chat. I'm going to share my screen and show you. I messaged him directly, and you can see the little check mark where it shows that you saw your message. No response. So what does that tell you when a keyboard warrior criticizes you? It tells you they don't really care if you're a scammer from hell or if you're more honest than Mother Teresa. Why? Then why would they make the comment? They're hurting, and that hurt is projecting, whether it's craving for attention or it's fear about the future or just deep raw pain that they need to vent. They have not yet learned how to handle pain. Your future health, your wholeness, your success is hugely dependent on your ability to handle and process pain. Because guess what? I guarantee in life, you will have pain. I have pain. We all have pain. Pain is never the issue. Now, we think it's the issue in the moment, don't we? When you wake up with a headache, that feels like someone shoved a crowbar through your brain. Your mind is screaming, pain is the real problem right now. But in retrospect, it never is. Pain is one of your teachers. People do one of two things with pain. They either transfer it to other people, like keyboard warriors, haters, people always looking at the glass half full, or they let that pain transform themselves from the inside out. How you process pain is so important. Pain was meant as a gift from God to you. I swear, as a teacher, it will make you so much stronger. If you were to take, since I started on Amazon just a few years ago, if you were to take from then till now in the last 5 years, and you just extracted from my life all the pain I went through, I swear to you, I would not have the margin I have today to do the things I love with the people I love. I would not be here with the platform being able to share what I'm learning with you guys. If you pulled out the pain, I would have learned jack nothing. Pain is a necessary part of growth. And when you accept that, instead of fighting the pain and just trying to move away from it, you receive it and you let it make you stronger on the inside. And in my opinion, the greatest solvent, the greatest pacifier to pain is having purpose in the pain. The worst kind of pain is you're going, man, why am I going through this right now? I don't get it. I didn't do anything. Why did he or she treat me this way? Why did this happen to the government? Why is this happening to the economy? What about my job? Like, when you have those feelings going on, those are real feelings. But if you focus just on the feeling, you get nowhere. If you instead say, hey, this is so I can grow. I launched that product, and then it went totally flat on Amazon. I tried to work out that relationship, and it did not work. And I really felt like I gave the best that I could. Maybe that pain was to make you learn something because someone cares about you and is looking out for you. I read a quote this morning, and it said, you might feel like you were buried when actually you were planted. And I think this quote is so freaking powerful. You were actually planted. The next time you feel like you're buried in life and everything's crushing down on you, just consider that maybe you were planted so your roots can go deep and you can grow up strong. This is what I've learned through real estate. This is what I've learned through selling on Amazon. This is what I've learned through selling on eBay. This is what I've learned through building out social media brands with over 300,000 followers to launch on Amazon. This is what I've learned through growing a team. It's something I've never done before, hiring and training. This is what I've learned in almost getting divorced in my marriage a few years back. This is what I've learned in fathering 4 children. This is what I've learned from going unhealthy and not so fit to very fit, even after getting really, really sick. How? Because I chose to say the pain is going to teach me something. And you know what's funny? A lot of times we're suffering so badly that we don't even have the margin within ourselves to go help someone else. And I don't blame you for that. I've been there many times. We all go there. But there are times where you're hurting so much, you don't have the margin in your heart to turn around and say, I want to help you, or I want to help you, because you're hurting so much. When you let that hurt teach you, all of a sudden, you start getting more margin in your heart. I know we're all fighting for time. Like, that's the most elusive of the 4 big assets: people, time, knowledge, money, in order of priority from there. People, time, knowledge, money. There are 4 big assets. Time is the difficult one because it's so elusive. The funny thing is, you don't want just margin in your time, you want margin in your heart, which allows you to make the most of life. I'm talking about where you can go outside right now. It's a beautiful day, by the way, here in Austin. You can go outside, you could sit down on the back porch. You take a breath and you feel perfectly at peace with zero anxiety. Pain will give you that gift if you just let it. All right, let's take some questions here. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much that you totally agree. That's awesome. Is it safe to go to China now? No, it is not safe to go to China now. I would not recommend it. And right now, to my knowledge, it's been banned from flying to China. Now, China is safer than the US, but it's when you get to the airport, when you're mingling with people on the way there is the most dangerous part. I do not recommend it. As many of you guys may know, we are going to China for 2 months. We're going to live there to learn Chinese, to interact with our suppliers, to build deeper relationships, to get better deals on our products. And check this out. Oh, I'm so excited to share this. I think this is the first time we publicly said this on this new platform. Check this out, guys. You ready for this? This is so crazy what I'm about to tell you. You guys know that a lot of Chinese Amazon sellers are selling in Amazon. And this is, again, nothing against Chinese. I have great friends who are Chinese. I have staff in China. But it is the habit of many Amazon sellers in China to do a lot of black hat tactics, to put like critical reviews on your product, to open up recycled listings, like they're selling a glass for a while, and then all of a sudden they switch it to a cell phone case so it has those reviews. A lot of really just very against terms of service stuff. I was about to say something worse, but okay. We are currently, our staff, we have paid for them to take one of the top courses for Chinese Amazon sellers. And you know what they're doing right now? They are translating it. We are going to assimilate the information. We're going to take all the good and apply it to our training, justwhenime.com/freedom for 5 courses. And then all the bad, we're going to let you know about it and teach you how to respond. Like, we literally have staff kind of doing this right now. If I was on live in China right now, they would completely cut me off from even saying this. Like, that's how serious this is. And I'm like, we're going behind the lines to help you, and I'm so excited. Okay, what's up, Marcelo, Alan? Perfection is subjective. Truly, each of us are perfect. To see somebody as imperfect is a result of your conditioning. Well said, Alan. Very, very, very well said. I totally agree. Everyone's unique. And you know what's cool about it, you guys? This is why I love the coin analogy. If you have a problem with being a controlling person on one side of the coin, that means on the other side of the coin, you're probably really, really good at directing. I think all bad habits and traits are simply a good thing twisted. And all you have to do is find the good side and leverage it back to where it was. Let me give you another example. If you're the kind of a person who loves attention, you're always needy for attention, maybe that could be a negative on one side of the coin, but if you flip it over on the other side of the coin, maybe you're someone who's really good at influencing people. It just was a good habit, bad that come back to the good again. If you're a person who tends to soak up other people's emotions codependently and your happiness is dependent on how they're doing, like if your spouse is really struggling, you have a horrible day because you're codependent, like your emotions are controlled by that person, that's a bad thing, codependency. On the other side, maybe you're a very compassionate, merciful person and you care about people. It just went so far that it's starting to wreak havoc in your own life. Every single problem we have, there is another, it came from a good side. Like, I believe this whole world started good and some things went bad. And what we have to do is find, well, what is the good side to that weakness and learn from it. That is power, you guys. And I like what you said, Marcelo, because it doesn't just go down to being the perfect person. No one is supposed to be the perfect person. You are perfect as you are. You just need to grow as you are. You're like a tree that is growing and learning and figuring things out and making mistakes along the way. I'll just give you guys an example. I had someone email me this morning, and they called me out on something that they felt was too risky that I did years back ago on Amazon. And by the way, guys, I don't cheat at all, okay? This was a test account, and I wanted to figure something out with it. And I responded, I said, I agree with you. In fact, I've made a lot more mistakes than that, but I learn from my mistakes. You have to be willing to mess up. If you have this idea, man, I just got to be perfect, can't ever mess up, you're going to be so frustrated with your life because you're always trying to make sure you stay between the lines. Just screw the lines, live your life, and move forward. Set yourself free to mess up, to make mistakes, and show yourself grace. Yes, pain pushes until vision pulls. Absolutely. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. All we have is this moment, and it's a gift. That's why it's called the present. You know, it's funny. That quote was one of the cheesiest quotes ever invented to go around the internet, yet it's 1,000% true, and I totally agree. Let's see. Hold on one second. I'm going to take you guys' questions. Give me 1 second, guys. It's a new platform, so I'm still figuring it out. Oh, my goodness, we have a lot of questions. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay, if you don't understand for something, you'll fall for anything. Absolutely, Tammy, I totally agree with you. What's up, Brett? Good to see you, brother. Okay, cool. You're on Facebook, and I can see your name. That's awesome. Enough self-confidence to know you're perfect just as you are. Well said. Well said. All right. We grow because we struggle. We learn and overcome. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. To avoid criticism, do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. It's so true. Like, if you guys want a life where no one hates you, then you pretty much need to turn into just a piece of paper, okay? Just be nothing, right? You're wearing too much, you're wearing too little. You're too outgoing, you're too introverted. You're too talkative, you don't talk enough. Like, there's no end. You will never make everyone happy. Everyone, all the time, is at some point, you're gonna get someone poking a finger at you. It's okay. They're projecting their pain. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with other people's issues. All right, let's see. Seth, okay, Marcelo has a great question. Seth, do you think the economy will go back to normal when things reopen in the USA, or what will be the impact in the long term? First, here's what I think is going to happen. As soon as COVID-19 calms down, and we're already starting to see signs of that, and the local governments allow us to go around the world and do what we do and get on an airplane and fly to different places, I think there's going to be a lot of parties. I think people are going to jump onto a plane and they're going to turn up the music and they're all going to be like, yeah, hey, what's up? They're going to be hugging everybody because they've been so freaking isolated right now. Like, I really, really think that. I think it's going to be nuts, okay? I think some crazy stuff's going to happen as soon as COVID-19 calms down. Because it's like you take someone, you lock them up for a while, you let them free. You think they sit there? No, they go crazy. They run, they scream, they yell. They're trying to make up for lost time. But more serious answer, though I am serious about that. I believe the economy is going to come back stronger. Because what's happened is, I think, and this happens if you look at the history of every economy, and it may take 2 years to get back there. Here's what happens with every economy. And this is going to sound harsh, but it's a fact. When some crisis hits, the weakest businesses, as a general rule, die. And as a result, the stronger survive. And those stronger ones actually get that much stronger when the economy comes back, which means there are more jobs. And a lot of businesses that folded, the people involved, whether it was the owner or the employees, assimilate themselves into the new business. Second, a lot of companies, new companies, start during crisis. I've been saying this every day. Some of you guys are on here. Every freaking day. I'm going to show you guys, okay? I get message after message after message after message, and this is just my personal Instagram. This is not just when I'm Instagram. People saying, I'm going to wait until COVID-19 dies down and things are back to normal. Let me tell you something. That is the worst thing you can do right now. If you're waiting to start a business until things are normal, you're doing the exact opposite of what you should be doing. You should go for it when things are abnormal. Just look at history. While some people 2008, 2010 were jumping off buildings because of the economy, the real estate crash, other people, like literally killing themselves, other people were starting businesses, Airbnb, Pinterest, Uber. I could go on and on and on. Some of the most iconic businesses began in market crisis. That's why now should be the time you say, you know what? I'm going to be the difference. I'm not going to run with the masses. I'm going to go the opposite direction, and I'm going to build something so that my future can say, wow, I'm so glad I did that. When the most people are too scared and they're running away, I decided to act because your competition was lower. And if you can start a business in a crisis, guess what happens when the economy returns? Okay, this is so cool. Check this out. It's like what they do in the military. If you can learn to survive in the woods by yourself, Like some military training programs will put you naked in the woods, and for 2 weeks, you have to learn to live. You're eating earthworms. You're sewing clothing so you're not running around naked. You're drinking water from a river, wondering and trying to figure out if it's putrid or not. You become strong in that moment so that when you are in the real life situation and you actually have a platoon with you, you definitely can survive. If you can start a business now and succeed, do you know how strong you're going to be when the economy comes back? You are going to go up with that wave. And not only are you going to rise the tide while all these other people are like, oh, I'll start a business now, and they're already late. You also learned to run lean. One of the hardest things to do in a business, I've had to do this multiple times, is scaling back so that you can survive. Lowering your costs so that you can grow and be profitable. It's one of the hardest things to do because you feel like you're not succeeding. And this is where your ego has to go to say goodbye and jump out the window, and where you have to go back to your core values and say, who am I? Am I confident enough to be okay to scale back instead of having a bloated head and thinking, oh, we're going to do it because we're amazing, and then you crash and burn. That has been the failure of so many businesses, where they were too arrogant to realize they needed to cut back on expenses so they could survive. Guys, start a business now. Now is the time. I'm telling you. I could go on like this for an hour and I'll stop, but I'm telling you guys, please do not underestimate the opportunity right now. So to answer your question, Marcelo, I believe the economy will come back stronger because times of crisis, what it does is it makes businesses stronger, or if they're not strong enough, they die. Now, granted, a lot of businesses didn't do anything wrong and they died because they were brick and mortar. And no one's walking into restaurants right now unless it's delivery. A lot of businesses closed down, but did they have an online option? Did they have an online delivery? A lot of businesses are hustling and readjusting and pivoting and getting stronger as a result. So I'm actually excited to see what comes through the end of this, even though it's been very, very horrible for a lot of people. All right. Okay, so Vita No Campo has a question. Now I'm looking for sell products that will be good to mine, and Amazon's customers feel comfortable in your houses. Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's a great idea, but I think it's also a little bit short term. You want to think long term. So I think that's smart, but by the time, if you're looking for products right now, Marcelo, by the time you launch those products, and those products are on Amazon, COVID-19 is probably not even going to be on the news anymore. So you're late on that. But don't worry. My point is the fact that you're looking is great, but I would not depend on household products because of COVID-19. Anything where COVID-19 can benefit your business happened 3 months ago for it to have an impact. Someone says, if you can feel the pain, you know that you are still alive, and if you are still alive, you can make a change. Absolutely. That is so, so awesome. I totally 1000% agree. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to try something. Okay, there we go. If Amanda, what's up? Good to see you. How are you? We have not talked for a long time. If my product is out of stock, I realized it would be best to close the listing until I get more inventory in. That's true. But it is still showing there are 9 reserved of this product. Do I wait for the 9 to get shipped in? No, just close it. Great question, just close it, and here's why. If you wait and they're in reserve, to me as a buyer, I can't get the product, which means your BSR number is getting higher and higher and higher, and you're losing your ranking. So you want to close it now. Don't let 9 determine the 9 products is not worth risking the ranking of your listing. Great question. Yes, Alan says to Marcelo, spot on, jobs of the future do not exist yet, but as we migrate from the industrial age and the information age, jobs will fall. Absolutely, it's true. And guys, here's the thing. Guys, I know, listen, I know it is so hard when there's an economy hit and jobs are lost, okay? But I am also a free market capitalist. Let me explain what I mean by that. It always ends up healing itself. Because what happens is, yes, it's like the industrial age. People lost jobs, but then it created new jobs. People had to learn new skills. Coders make a ton of money because they're needed so much. 20 years ago, those people were the misfits in the schools I went to. If you were a nerd, if you were anything even close to a coder, didn't exactly exist, you were looked down on. Now today, they are like the bomb. So remember, history has a way of correcting these things if you don't try to control it. And I trust that. Yeah, absolutely, Noel. That's so cool, Ink Wrap. You guys started in 2008. Like, really, truly, that's awesome. You started way before I did. I started in late 2014. Please leave the live in the channel. I absolutely will, Rashid, as long as I know how to, because I'm using a new software today. I want to figure out how to get your guys' questions up here on the screen. I don't know how to do that yet, but we'll try to figure that out. Okay, love seeing and hearing you, Seth. Thank you for all you do. First time seeing and thanks again. Absolutely, Alan, and thank you so much. Seth, is business back to normal in China with suppliers? Yes. Can you get shipments of products? Yes. And here's the thing. The vast majority of suppliers in China are back in business. In fact, I personally don't know of a single one that isn't. The only thing now is the shipping has been slowed down again because of COVID-19. Even though there's a lot of evidence based on the CDC to prove that COVID-19 cannot survive in the packaging that's shipped in, it still has affected customs. Some people lost their job. Some people aren't working there anymore. They're too scared. They're doing more inspections. Is possibly a chance the virus could be on the product. So as a result, shipping has been slowed. The price of express and air freight has gone up like crazy, but the ocean freight has stayed very consistent. So if you can get ocean freight shipping, it's worth it. Remember, you're going to get your profits go up a lot, okay? Now, I know some of you guys go, but Seth, I don't want to wait 4 to 5 weeks. Let me ask you a question. Do you think your future self a year from now will care about 4 to 5 weeks? Because when you start, even if you had to launch 3 weeks later because you did ocean freight shipping instead of express or air freight, the profit on your product could be 10, 20, sometimes 50% higher because the shipping costs are reduced when you ship by sea, which means you made a buttload more of money than if you had got launched earlier, but your profit margins are thinner, which gives you less margin to operate within PPC and so forth. The software I'm using right now is called Stream. It's actually pretty cool. What's up, Vita No Campo? I learned with family and use in my business persistence, yes, resilience, initiative. In the case of business, think about negotiating where both have an advantage. Think about what they really need. You know, that's really good advice, you guys. I'm negotiating all the time. I'm currently in a negotiation with the first shark on Shark Tank. His business partner reached out to us and said, would you guys promote our products online? And so we're working on a deal right now. We should hear by Tuesday whether or not it's actually going to happen. Super exciting. I have to ask myself constantly, what is valuable to him? What is valuable to us? It never should be an either or. You need both parties to win, but you must be willing to walk away. If in your mind you are so desperate you can't walk away, it's kind of like a relationship, unfortunately, then it'll be unhealthy and something you'll make a bad decision. You have to have the ability to be true to yourself first. Then you can be true to others. It goes true for relationships. It goes true for businesses. Guys, this is what I love about life. It's integrated. Listen, I don't know how anyone could just focus on growing a healthy business and not growing a healthy personal life. Like, they're so freaking integrated. It's awesome. And there's so much we can learn from that. I have zero experience, says Rashid, in e-commerce. First of all, I want to say congratulations. That is awesome, because every single person on this channel right now, myself included, had zero experience at one point. Zero. Okay, so you know what's so cool? You are at ground zero, and the only way you can go is straight up. That is awesome. All right. I have zero experience in e-commerce, and I want to start with drop shipping. After that, I would go to Amazon FBA. What is your advice for me? First of all, you're confused about Amazon FBA versus drop shipping. Let me explain. Drop shipping, with drop shipping, yes, that is FBM, okay? But FBA is not really a business model. It's a way of fulfilling products. What I think you mean is private label. If I was in your shoes, I would start with private label. Why? It's the same reason every time I have to make a difficult decision, I use this to guide me. What will Seth's future self thank him for? Next time you are in a very difficult crossroads and you don't know what to choose, and you really, man, both options are equally good or equally evil. Just ask yourself the question, what will my future self thank me for? Private label will make you so much more money. Drop shipping margins are thin. If you want to compete, I know a lot of drop shippers on Amazon, and I've done plenty of it myself. If you want to compete with them, you're going to have 5, 8, 10% margins at the best, using a credit card with cash back, using things like Ratucan, which can help you get some more cash back. Even with those, it's still going to start. So I would highly recommend you go with private label. If you want to know more, com/freedom. All right, Marcelo, Seth, do you think factories will come back to USA? Do you think government will push to have manufacturing? Whoops, hold on one sec. Do you think government will push to have manufacturing back to USA after COVID-19 is over? So when you say come back to the USA, you mean for those who left, right? So first of all, the government, the best thing the government can do for these factories is give them incentive. I'm going to say something that a lot of you guys are probably going to go, what? When I say this, you ready? The whole purpose, the entire purpose of you getting tax write-offs when you run a business is incentive. It's incentive. The government set those up not to punish people, but to help the economy. Let me give you a simple example. If you know that by running a real estate business, which we do, you can save a lot more taxes than if you were investing in stocks, which we also do, then you're naturally going to be drawn to real estate more. Now, why would the government want me to do real estate? Well, think about it. Housing provides jobs for the contractors, the engineers, the architects, the home designers, the Airbnbs. Like, there's so much business that comes to real estate. It's amazing. And that helps the economy, which means people pay taxes, which means the government gets paid, and the circle of life continues, okay? That's the first thing I want to preempt it by saying that. Yes, I do think the US absolutely, and President Trump very specifically, and it depends on whether or not he's going to be reelected, wants factories back in the US. That was one of the incentives for the whole tariff war in the beginning. It was to make business go, wait a minute, I'm going to have to spend so much money importing from China, importing from Canada, importing from Thailand, importing from South America. Maybe I should just have a manufacturer right here in the good old US of A. Great question. Shipping is a lot more expensive as a result of COVID-19. Yep, absolutely, it is. Well, but I have not seen a change in the shipping by sea at all. Cardboard 24 hours, plastic, steel 72 hours. Hello, what's up, Jonathan? Good to see you, brother. I got 2 launched and sending them to the fulfillment center. Good job, Noel. That's awesome. That would be great, but unions, hold on one second. One sec. That would be great, but unions have become too powerful and the COGS becomes very expensive, crushing profits to nearly zero, sadly. And so let me just share this, Alan. That is true, but there's another side of the coin you need to think about. If you are finding your profits crushed, how, and I agree with you, and this is happening in many situations, how are other online sellers making it happen and making millions? I'm going to say this to you guys, I say it to myself. There is a way. It is an even playing field. The opportunity is equal for everyone. We all have 24 hours in a day. So if this was true and everyone's profits are to zero, there would be no online business. It's true for some. The question is, how do you become part of those whose profits are not crushed to zero? You see what I mean? And that means you have to go back and know your numbers in advance. You need to know your shipping costs in advance. You need to know tariff, everything in advance. Yesterday, I spent over half the day just processing numbers for one of Amazon stores. That's all I did. I have a big fat Notion doc and I went through, I looked at every possible scenario until I really, really felt confident, okay, this product's gonna work. But I had to know my numbers in advance. Like Marcus Lemonis says, you have to know your numbers or you don't know your business. All right. Seth says, Chris, what do you expect from here to 6 months from now in Amazon activity, competition, and sales? I'll tell you exactly what I expect. Let me go back to where you were. Okay. First of all, the competition is going down right now, which is why now people should be jumping in, launching new products, launching new product lines. Now is the time to act. Now is not the time to sit at home watching Netflix. A lot of people are doing that because they're depressed. Why not fight depression by activity and get out there and let's go? Okay, that's my first thought. Second, Amazon sales as a whole have gone up, not down. I know for some product categories, they were limited. For a while, you couldn't ship products in. For a while, if I went to one of your listings, I couldn't buy it for a while. I get that. But the number of people going to Amazon, especially more elderly people who previously didn't do it, has grown like crazy. And Amazon is only going to continue to grow. If anything, what I found is the majority of people whose business depend on online sales have stayed in business, and a huge amount of people and companies whose sales do not depend on online but brick and mortar have failed. And it's really sad. But it's a wake-up call. The opportunity is online because you're no longer restricted by people's physical location. Noel Thompson said, have you experimented with Shopify? What are your both thoughts and opinions? Absolutely have, many, many times. I've done both drop shipping, private labeling, Amazon fulfilling the orders, and everything else. So Shopify is simply a platform where you can build your own store. Now that Shopify is testing out their own fulfillment centers, this is a huge competition to Amazon, and I love competition. You know why? Amazon's going to go, we've got to keep our fees down low. Otherwise, we might lose business to this Canadian-owned company called Shopify. Shopify is the easiest, fastest way I know for building your brand outside of Amazon because it's automated. It was set up, it was designed, not for the blogger like WordPress, but for the person who wants to sell products for e-commerce. I just met with one of our students. She did over $500,000 in 2019 at 50% profit margin. Just a few days, myself and our COO met with her. And she told me, and this is like gonna blow your mind, she never puts card inserts in her listing, the boxes with her listing, or her packages. And I said, why? She says, because it's against Amazon's terms of service. I said, it's great, you're safe. I promise you can do it. You can even, on that card, you can do a little scratch code where they can't even see it unless a lot of people do this to be safe. But you don't even need to do that. I've never seen someone get their account suspended over it, ever. I talked to people way high up in Amazon, and they directly told me, they didn't say it's a green light, they just said, we're not checking that. How do you scale that? Amazon won't do anything that is not scalable. Here's the thing. When you understand the platform upon which you are selling, it gives you a massive advantage. Because now you know what your limits are. You're going to take risks. I don't think risk is wrong. I just simply say, what is the reward? What is the cost? That's it. When I was in Eastern Europe and I sat at a table with a bunch of people and I asked this question, I said, guys, tell me, how do you get reviews? I just want to know. That I was the expert answering their questions, but I want to know how they're getting reviews. And they're like, is the camera off? I'm like, yeah, the camera's off. Is Amazon here? I'm like, yeah, Amazon is not here. You're good. Tell me honestly how you're getting reviews. Every single person at that table was using breaking terms of service to get reviews. Now, I'm not endorsing that. What they were doing is risky, and I told them that you were riding the Titanic. It's just before that ship sinks. But they're super risky. So for me, that's too much risk. But putting the card insert into your product packaging, is there risk? Of course. I mean, you started a freaking business. That's risk, right? The reason I'm saying all this is that's how you drive traffic to your Shopify store. You launch products on Shopify that you don't launch on Amazon. If I buy your selfie stick, you tell me about an accessory that goes with the selfie stick or a new ring light that has the capacity to hold multiple size devices that I can buy, but not on Amazon, only on your online store. You're not even going to call it Shopify to me, the customer, right? You're just going to call it your store. So now you're building brand value. Like, I'm going to throw a challenge out there to you guys. Would you ever consider this? Would you guys ever consider launching a brand with zero product? This is exactly what we are doing, and it's so fun. Let me show you. I'm talking where you get people, check this out. Let me switch over so you can see. This is mine right there. I'm going to click on it. Boom. Launching a store. Look, where you have people, can you guys see that? 1,000, look, 1,000% value. Like, it's loading. This is all about women fitness because we're launching a product. We're going to do Indiegogo Kickstarter. We haven't sold a single thing for this brand. It's another way to do it. For this to work, we have to have a Shopify store to drive people to. We have a blogger who every week writes a new blog on vegan, healthy fitness, workout from home, which is kind of perfect for COVID-19. By the way, right now is one of the best opportunities to build a brand. You know that? Like COVID-19, everyone is at home. Everyone is on their phone. Everyone is bored to death. At least those people who are building businesses. I don't know what it's like to be bored. I've been bored for so many years. People tell me they're bored. I'm like, I have come from a different planet, or you have, my friend. People will consume your content like crazy. I mean, look, guys, at the risk of bragging, I just want you to see this. So check this out. So this one right here, we got 1,718 likes. Now, this is not me getting validation because people liked it. It's me telling you people are consuming this content and they love it. Another one, we have 2,632 likes. Another one, we have 11,000 likes. Like, look, it works, you guys. You can build a brand right freaking now while the rest of the world lives in fear. You be the courageous one to be the difference. All right. All right, let's keep going. Seth, let's see. Stimulus only helps the rich. So here's the question, though. Let me okay, let me respond to this. All right, we're getting a little political here. I'm gonna this one. Then be the rich. Boom! Like, come on. Like, I hear what you're saying. You're exactly right. All these stimulating things that we're not talking about the stimulus paychecks, by the way. He's talking about the incentives the government gives you where you can pay literally zero in taxes legally if you set it up right through your loans for real estate. Okay, that's exactly how Robert Kiyosaki built his entire wealth, is understanding tax law, which is supposed to incentivize you. But my question is, then be the rich. Like, decide. Being broke is hard. Being rich is hard. Ladies and gentlemen, choose your heart. I love it. Great. I love the comment though, guys. Keep them coming because I find them entertaining and it's awesome. Okay, I have a question, but I think you already responded at the beginning of the live. Is run business in the same time? Yes, it's a great time. What's up, everybody? All right. Oh my goodness, check this out. I think, oh, cool. I just figured it out, you guys. If I click the question, it pops up. This is so cool. Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you guys for bearing with me as I give you guys content. You're letting me learn this at the same time. Amazon means Amazon will serve as a new precedent for e-commerce growth. Absolutely 100% no. Do you have a course that teaches the fundamentals of setting up a Shopify store? We are working on it, and you'll have it very soon. You are the best. I promise you, when I start shipping my products, you're the first one I will send them gifts with all my products for free. You know what's so cool? We had one of our students sent us the most beautiful bed sheets I've ever seen in my life. 100% like bamboo and something else, and they're really cool for sleeping on. And we like put it on the bed, and it's like the packaging was mind-blowing. Do we still have that box here? I think it's outside in the garage. I can show it to you guys later. But like, so thank you. I appreciate that. All right. In my opinion, it would be interesting to look for small suppliers close to us in other countries outside China. I do not claim that the flexibility of negotiation is the same, but I advise to try. Yeah. And Vita No Campo, by the way, your the picture of the chicken with the glasses is hilarious. I love it. I agree with you. Right now I'm working with someone who lives in San Antonio, who grew up in Costa Rica, who understands the supplier market in South America and Latin America very well. And as a result, we are talking about providing a service where she could work on behalf of just one Diamond students to help you source in Latin America instead of China. So I think you make a really good point. And no, I want to be rich. I love it. What is the best margin you recommend for new Amazon FBA sellers? So there's two kinds of margin. One is life margin, one is profit margin. Let's talk about profit margin first. Ready? Profit margin, 40% or more before PPC ads. If your margins are lower than that, don't launch the product. There are two kinds of products in my mind when it comes to Amazon. Private label, I'm speaking of private label, guys. One are fast cash products, one are long-term cash. Long-term cash, it could cost you 10, 20, 30,000 for your launch just to get everything set up and going because it is so custom. You got a patent on it, a new mold, all that stuff. That's one option, okay? The other option is you just differentiate how the product looks. We're talking about perceived differentiation. People can compete with you more easily. Look, if I sell, okay, you guys want to see something really cool? I love this coffee mug, by the way. Boom. You guys can tell I'm a total coffee mug nerd. Look, this is from Prague. If I sell the exact same cup because there's no copyright on the design and there's no patent on the physical design, okay? If I sell this on Amazon in more beautiful packaging and they have under 100 reviews and they're selling really well, I could probably beat them and make cash fast. But as you guess, within 2 to 3 months, someone else is going to come out with similar or better packaging and undercut me. Was it worth it? Of course it was worth it because I made $20,000 in 3 months off of a single product. And I did a tiny bit of differentiation. You know what we've been doing? We've been finding products in Alibaba, just simple everyday products. Headphones, scissors, water bottles, just random stuff. Glasses, exercise bands, random stuff. And we've been buying them and launching them and just changing a little tiny bit of differentiation to see how fast we can make money off of that. And that was a huge part of our new Amazon store. You guys heard about our baby Amazon store, which is doing well over 100,000 a month. We launched it 9 months ago, and it's now doing over 100,000 a month. Profit margins, 40 to 60% on the majority of the private label products. And I say that because some of them are arbitrage. That could be 10, 15, 20%. The margins all over the place for those.
My point is, there's so much fun you can have with this, guys. Don't feel stuck to, I have to have the perfect product. I have to have the perfect packaging. I have to have the perfect differentiation. Like, don't think that way. You're going to kill yourself if you think that way. Think like this. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to test this one, and I'm going to try a different strategy with this one, and I might lose money in this one. And it's all okay. It's all part of the game. Just know your numbers so that you don't go into the hole. 30% or more after Amazon fees are covered. So I would only say that after the PPC, no, in my opinion, because I think 30% is a great rule. The rule of thirds, 33 for arbitrage, but for private label, I think that's too low. You need margin, especially if you're in a more competitive category. By the way, let me share a tip with you guys. When you find a new product, launch one that has multiple keywords. In other words, there are a lot more keywords for headphones than there are for selfie sticks. Okay? Which means if these were equally in demand, and they're not, these are a lot higher in demand, but if they were, then the PPC cost of the headphones would be a lot lower than the selfie sticks. Look at it this way. If there are 10, this is how bidding works, PPC. If there are 10 people in a room, and they're all bidding on the word selfie stick, okay? They're all bidding. The price goes up the more people who bid. Because if you bid $1, well, I'm going to bid $1.10 because I want mine to show up higher than yours. Then Jonathan Bowe is going to bid $1.20. Then Noel Thompson is going to bid $1.30. You see what I mean? So if you have 100 people bidding on this keyword, the price goes way higher for your PPC cost. You see what I mean? Is this making sense? There are only so many keywords that people search to find a selfie stick. There are a lot of keywords people search to find headphones, Bluetooth headphones, sports headphones, waterproof headphones, non-stick headphones, sweat resistant. Like there's so many, which means as a general rule, when a product has more keyword options, that means more pathways, different keywords people will search, like roads going into a city, to find the same product, which means it spreads out the number of people bidding on each keyword, which means the cost per keyword goes down. Does that make sense? That took me like 8 months to learn that. Don't forget that. That'll help you a ton when you're doing product research. Find products with a lot of keywords that people would search to find them. If there's not a lot of keywords, I guarantee you the cost of those keywords is going to go higher unless the product is not in high demand. All right. Eliana, hi Seth, which company labels the product in bundle and make sure ready to send to Amazon? So you can actually have your supplier do all of this for you. Chinese suppliers, even in just the last 2 years, have become so much more Amazon savvy. It's scary, but it's also convenient. You know what I'm saying? So you can have your supplier do this. You don't need to go to a third-party fulfillment company to do that. Now you can, and when you're doing arbitrage, let's say you live in the UK, but you want to sell on Amazon.com, you do need a company to buy. You buy the products online, but you have them shipped to that company. It's called a packaging fulfillment center, and they send it to Amazon for you. Because you obviously can't do that if you're living in the UK and you're selling on .com. But when it comes to private label, have the supplier do it. Just teach them everything they need to know. And if you're not in a membership, we teach exactly how to do that. What's up, Diana? Good to see you. Okay, cool. Guys, great questions. I think I covered them all. So I'm just like clicking on this and having fun with it. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. You know what's funny? I was not planning on doing a live today. This was not supposed to be live. They said if you hit record, it won't go live. And so I just said something at the beginning just in case. And then all of a sudden I started getting comments. I'm like, okay, I think this is live. So then we did this for like a long time, for 53 minutes, and I hope you enjoyed it. You know, one more thought, you guys. A lot of people ask me, well, Seth, how are you able, I didn't plan this, okay? How are you able to sit down for 53 minutes and just provide content? I'll tell you exactly how. Because I do not need people's validation to do what I do. I do it because I know it's helping people and I believe in it. And some people like it, some people don't, and I don't give a crap. What I care about is that you get out there, take ownership for your life, go succeed. Look at it like this. COVID-19 is an opportunity for you. Excuses will always be there for you, but opportunities will not. You guys have an awesome day. Bye.